Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what if the best investment I could ever make isn't in stocks, real estate, or crypto, but in myself? I used to think that investing meant putting money into something external, something that could give me returns over time. But I soon realized the greatest return on investment comes from developing me. The truth is, everything we build in life, whether it's wealth, relationships, or legacy, starts with the quality of the person we are. When I began treating myself like an asset, things shifted. I stopped waiting for opportunities to find me and instead became the kind of person opportunities were drawn to. But how often do we neglect ourselves while pouring everything into our jobs, families, and dreams? How can we expect growth when we water everything but our own roots? In this video, I want to walk you through 10 powerful ways I've learned to invest in myself. Each one has reshaped my mindset, my productivity, my peace, and ultimately, my future. Are you ready to turn inward and build something no one can take away from you? Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Then let's begin. Number 1. Read every day. Have you ever heard the saying, readers are leaders? I used to think it was just a catchy phrase. But once I made daily reading a habit, I saw the transformation firsthand. Books became my mentors. Through them, I could tap into the minds of the most successful people in the world, whether they were alive or long gone. Reading is more than just absorbing words. It's a mental workout. It expands your perspective. It forces you to slow down and reflect. Can you name a single successful person who doesn't read regularly? I couldn't either. So I asked myself, if I want to lead, grow, and make better decisions, shouldn't I feed my mind like I feed my body? Whether it's 10 pages of a self-help book, a chapter of a biography, or even a thoughtful article, I made it non-negotiable. And you know what? My conversations became sharper. My confidence grew. My ideas became more refined. I didn't just consume knowledge. I started applying it. What's stopping you from picking up a book today? The next time you're tempted to scroll through social media for an hour, imagine what one powerful book could do for your mindset. When you choose to read, you're choosing to invest in wisdom, and that's a resource that never depreciates. Number 2. Exercise and take care of your body. I used to tell myself I didn't have time to work out. But the truth, I didn't have time not to. The body is the vehicle that carries us through life, so why do we treat it like an afterthought? Can we really expect to chase big dreams with low energy and poor health? The moment I started exercising consistently, even if it was just a 20-minute walk a day, I felt like I unlocked a secret power. I had more energy, less stress, and greater focus. My self-esteem skyrocketed, not because of how I looked, but because I kept the promises I made to myself. Isn't that what self-respect is all about? Doing what you said you would. Every drop of sweat, every stretch, every push-up became an investment in my future self. I realized I didn't need to become a bodybuilder or run marathons. I just needed to move with intention. What would happen if you treated your body like a temple instead of a trash can? The better I felt physically, the more momentum I created in every other area of life. Health isn't a luxury, it's a foundation. Without it, everything else crumbles. So why wait until sickness forces you to pay attention? Make the investment now. Your future self will thank you. Number 3. Master a high-income skill. Would you believe me if I said that one skill could change your entire financial future? That's exactly what happened to me. I stopped relying solely on my job and decided to build value within myself by mastering a high-income skill. I asked myself, what problem can I solve that people would gladly pay for? The answer could be copywriting, digital marketing, graphic design, coding, or sales. There are countless options. I chose one, studied relentlessly, practiced daily, and eventually began offering that skill to others. And guess what? My income started to grow independently of my 9 to 5. Isn't it empowering to know that you can create your own value in the marketplace? You're no longer at the mercy of one paycheck or one employer. Your skill becomes your safety net. The beauty is, no one can take that skill away from you. Not inflation, not layoffs, not the economy. What skill could change your life if you decided to truly master it? The information is out there. Books, online courses, mentors. You don't need to wait for permission. The moment I took my growth into my own hands, I realized I was no longer trading time for money. I was trading value, and that's priceless. Number 4. Protect your mental health. Why do we wait until we're breaking down before we check in with ourselves mentally? I used to think I had to be strong all the time, that emotions were a distraction. But burying my feelings only led to burnout, anxiety, and an emotional numbness I couldn't shake. I finally realized that mental health isn't weakness, it's wisdom. When I started journaling, meditating, and even talking to a therapist, I discovered layers of myself I had been ignoring. I began asking better questions. What do I need today? Why am I really feeling this way? What boundaries do I need to set? Isn't it crazy how we protect our phones with passwords but let toxic thoughts roam freely in our minds? Protecting your mental space is a form of self-respect. I learned to say no more often. I unplugged from energy-draining conversations. I made peace a priority, not an afterthought. What's the cost of ignoring your mental well-being? I paid it once, and I never want to go back. Now, I see that a clear mind is a powerful mind. And a powerful mind can change everything. Number 5. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Have you ever felt drained after spending time with certain people? I used to brush it off, until I realized my environment was stunting my growth. If you're the smartest or most motivated person in your circle, that's not a compliment. That's a warning. I began evaluating my circle with one question. Do these people push me forward or pull me back? I started seeking mentors, joining mastermind groups, and connecting with people who inspired me. It wasn't always easy. Some relationships had to be released. But was I willing to stay stuck just to stay comfortable? Are you willing to outgrow people to grow into your potential? It's a tough question, but your future depends on it. Iron sharpens iron. When I spent time with winners, I started thinking bigger, speaking more confidently, and dreaming beyond my limitations. Your tribe determines your vibe. Surround yourself with growth-minded people, and you'll become one by default. Never underestimate the power of association. It's one of the most silent, but strongest investments you'll ever make. Number 6. Develop emotional intelligence. Do you want to know what separates average people from exceptional leaders? Emotional intelligence. I used to believe that being smart was all about IQ. But over time, I saw how people's skills, empathy, and emotional control were far more valuable. I started watching how I responded in tense situations. Did I react or respond? Could I stay calm under pressure? Could I read the room, or was I always pushing my own agenda? Emotional intelligence gave me the edge in negotiations, relationships, and conflict resolution. Have you ever lost an opportunity because of how you handled your emotions? I have, and it was a wake-up call. I started reading books on EQ, asking for feedback, and learning how to navigate tough conversations with grace. Imagine the power of mastering your emotions instead of being mastered by them. That's not just self-investment, it's self-leadership. And the world respects leaders. Number 7. Practice daily gratitude. It sounds simple, right? Gratitude. But how often do we stop to count our blessings when life gets busy? I used to focus on everything I didn't have, and that mindset left me feeling empty no matter how much I achieved. So I started a small habit. Writing down 3 things I was grateful for every morning. Sometimes it was deep. I'm grateful for my health. Sometimes it was simple. I'm grateful for good coffee. But that one shift transformed my outlook. Why do we wait for big wins before we feel joy? What if we celebrated the little things daily? I learned that gratitude rewires your brain for positivity. It helps you see abundance even in scarcity. It quiets comparison. It grounds you in the present. Now, I see gratitude as fuel. It powers my attitude, my relationships, and my resilience. If you want to attract more good into your life, start by appreciating the good you already have. That's a powerful investment. Number 8. Invest in courses and coaching. Let me ask you this. How much would you pay to cut 5 years off your learning curve? For the longest time, I thought free YouTube videos were enough. But then I realized, if I wanted faster results, I needed to invest in people who had already walked the path. I started paying for courses, attending workshops, and hiring coaches. And each time I did, my growth accelerated. Why? Because knowledge without guidance is a maze. A coach doesn't just teach you, they hold you accountable. Are you willing to pay for your growth, or will you keep guessing and hoping? I learned that successful people don't see coaching as a cost. They see it as a shortcut. The return on one good mentor can be exponential. Stop waiting for the perfect time to invest in learning. That time is now. Growth doesn't happen by accident, it happens by intention. Number 9. Build a morning routine. How do you start your day? For years, I used to wake up late, rush out the door, and start the day in chaos. But then I asked myself, what would happen if I owned my mornings instead of letting them own me? That question changed everything. I built a morning routine that worked for me: reading, journaling, prayer, a workout, and a cold shower. Suddenly, I wasn't reacting to the day, I was leading it. Is your current routine setting you up for success or stress? When you win the morning, you win the day. I felt more centered, more focused, and more productive. I wasn't just busy, I was intentional. A great day doesn't start by accident. It starts with preparation, clarity, and momentum. Don't underestimate the compound power of one solid hour each morning. That small window of self-investment can change the entire trajectory of your life. Number 10. Track your progress and reflect weekly. How do you know if you're growing if you never stop to measure? For a long time, I was busy, but not necessarily productive. Then I started a weekly habit: reviewing my wins, lessons, and goals. Each Sunday, I asked, what went well? What could I improve? Where did I waste time? What am I grateful for? That 30-minute review gave me clarity I couldn't get during the hustle of the week. Do you ever feel like time is passing, but you're standing still? That's how I felt until I started tracking. Growth became visible. Momentum became measurable. I celebrated small wins I would have otherwise missed. Reflection is the mirror that shows you what to keep doing, and what to stop. It's one of the simplest, yet most powerful self-investments. Make space for it. Your life deserves the attention. You are the asset. At the end of the day, all roads lead back to you. Not your job, not your bank account. You. I've learned that the best investment I will ever make is not in things, but in personal growth. And the return, it's not just financial. It's freedom, clarity, peace, and purpose. So I ask you, what kind of life do you want to build? One where you react to circumstances, or one where you create them? One where you survive, or one where you thrive? The power is in your hands. You don't need a degree, a wealthy background, or perfect timing. You just need the decision to start. Pick one of these 10 investments. Take it seriously. Stick with it. And watch how everything around you begins to change. Because when you invest in yourself, you send a message to the universe that you believe in your own worth. And that belief, that's where real transformation begins.